What's that?
Sorry.
You're
I said,
good.
I want one of your hats.
I'll send you one of my hats.
Yeah.
I will. I
Great.
gotta get. I got some more about to be made. That's my new thing. New year, new merch. That's what I'm
Perfect.
looking at. So, all right, hold on. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another reaction interview. That's what this is. This is not really a reaction. We got Vince Freeman. You guys may or may not have seen the reaction video that we did to his Real Love. And I gotta say, man, it's probably one of the most touching songs that I've heard to date. And I've been in the reaction business for a minute, man. It's just, I know that every single person that listens to that song is going to get something from it. Vince, I'm glad to have you here with us. I appreciate you joining us for the interview. We got some questions from the people out there, and I've come up with some of my own. So we'll just kind of roll through it, have a little hangout session. We already started pre gaming
Yeah.
before this, just so everybody knows.
Yeah, we
We've
did.
had some good laughs. So I'm glad that you're here.
Thanks.
100%.
Thanks for having me, man.
Absolutely. The I don't know. That song did something to me. I know it's done something to a lot of other people out there. It's just I can't wait to see what the future holds. What else you're going to be bringing to the table? You got now you got to
I've got to bring it, right?
yeah, you got to figure out how to one up yourself from that.
Yeah, I'm man. I've been in the game a long time. I've been a full time writer, songwriter, musician for like over 20 years now, and it took me a long time to believe I was good enough, be good enough, and yeah. So my debut album, after 20 years, came out in October, and I've just been blown away. It's I think if you're an artist or anybody who creates something that's yours, when you release it to the world, it's terrifying.
Oh,
Because
absolutely.
you're then going, uh, what do you think? Is it good? Is it good? Do you like it? That kind of thing. And the reaction to the album across the board. The most important thing for me is people that listen to the songs and then talk to me about you know what what it means to them, and yeah, it's been really humbling.
Yeah, man, it just really it brought to life a whole bunch of people that have come into my corner since I was that guy that was hateful and spiteful and there's so many people that have come in and chipped away at the pieces of me and finally turned me into this person that realized that hey, it's okay to cry. It's okay to show emotions. Like I was brought up in a family where it was like, oh, you're a man, you gotta get up and brush it off.
Yeah,
And then I went into the Marine Corps and you gotta do the same thing there. You can't really show weakness. And then so it's just been my whole life. I've been building up these walls and I'm telling you, the people that have rallied around me have been life changing. It's crazy the loving community that we got. I don't know how somebody who was so I don't know in the thick of things could have so many people, strangers that I didn't even know, like making me think differently about the world, making me think differently about my situations, bringing me songs like yours that it's just like, holy hell, it makes me realize all of that.
well, I think for me it's about honesty. I came across you because Suzette, who has known about my music for years and years and years, she mentioned you to me, and I've watched a couple of things, and what strikes me is your reactions are honest, and you don't, you can't act it, you know. Yeah, your
Yeah,
reaction
no,
to,
absolutely.
and I think that ultimately, without swearing too much, I think people have, they have bullshit meters.
Yeah.
And they can tell if you're, just wanting numbers or wanting followers and wanting subscribers. And I think, where you strike a chord is also what I'm trying to do with songwriting. I write what I know and how I feel,
Yeah.
and hopefully that strikes a chord with other people. And sometimes someone will listen to something that I've written and go, I've been there. I know that feeling, and
Yeah,
you know
it's
it
nice to know
helps. It's
that you're
great.
just not going through it alone. You
Yeah,
don't have to face it by yourself. Other people have done it and they've survived it. Like
yeah,
you're gonna be okay. Essentially, that's the way your song made me feel. Like I'm gonna be okay. I may have
yeah,
been down some really, really dark trails in life, but I'm gonna be okay. Like,
yeah. I think you know. Strangely, I didn't know. I didn't do it on purpose, and I certainly didn't do it intentionally. But the thread of the album, I realized when I started touring live and playing these songs out live, I was like, oh, there is a thread in the album that is basically, look, you're not invisible. You are okay. You know, you don't need to feel alone. And you know, for anybody that's felt lost or not seen or not good enough, it's okay. You know, so that's unintentionally the thread of most of the songs on the album,
and I think that's
including
what
Be
a
Love.
lot of people nowadays are looking for. We're
Yeah.
tired of seeing everything on the news. We're tired of seeing all of these things about how we're not good enough. You're not good enough
Mm.
for society. And people just really need to be told, hey, snap out of that mentality. Like you're fine the way you are.
Yeah. We're all made of
Flaws
stardust.
and all, we'll accept you.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly that. You know.
People just looking for a little piece of positivity in a crazy, chaotic world. And if they can find that through music or through dance or through anything, I'm totally about it. Like, good on the artists that are out there. Those are the people that we should be following. Fill your life with more positivity. Fill your life with
Ah.
more self-affirming things.
Absolutely. I don't think that. You know. I feel like it's a strange place at the moment. The world. You know.
It's a
And
very strange place.
yeah.
Definitely not where I thought we were going.
But you know what? If you walk outside your door, you don't have to look very far to find humanity. You don't
Absolutely.
have, you know, you have a conversation with somebody and actually really ask them how they are. You know, it doesn't take you, I guarantee it wouldn't take you more than 5 minutes to find a hero,
Yeah.
you know?
You got to just be open to it. There's so many
Yeah,
people walking around that are closed off on purpose from the world. And then, yeah, you're only going to see the negative.
yeah, yeah,
If you take the time and even just catch somebody's eye that's walking down the street, give them a smile. You might see them smile back. They're going
My,
through the same things that you are. That we got to realize that we're all in the same damn boat.
my dad does that. Like, he lives in a little chalet, which is like a little tiny bungalow by the sea.
Uh huh.
But you know, every now and again, I'll go and visit him, and we'll go out on a walk. And you know, I have this kind of mindset where I'm like, you know, whatever you do, don't speak to somebody that is a complete stranger that's passing you by. And my dad is just walking. He's like, "Hello, good afternoon. How are you?" You know, and it's really interesting to see how quickly you can break down those barriers. You know, with just a small amount of kindness. You
It
know?
will do it every single time. It doesn't matter where in the world you're at. I was
Yeah.
in Thailand and I used to drive past this angry old man's house every single day. And I made sure that at first I wouldn't even meet his eye. And I was like, this guy's just angry for everything. And then I started looking at him and then I started smiling. And then finally one day he smiled at me and stood up and came over and shook my hand. And you never know what it's going to start. Even something as simple as that. People
Yeah.
don't realize it all adds up. It could be exactly what somebody needed on that particular day to make their whole day turn around.
Exactly. Yeah.
I freaking love that we think the same. Positivity, I'm telling you, that's the way of the future.
Yeah. I mean, you know, one of the things I started around Christmas time with Real Love, I don't know whether you know about it, and I'm just
I'm
so.
on there. Are you talking about the map?
Yes! You
I'm
on?
on the map.
Go on!
My thing hasn't populated yet, but I'm on there. It's gonna pop up soon.
It hasn't populated
It
yet.
hasn't
Oh, we'll have
populated yet. I
okay,
just
we'll have
did
to
it
sort that.
yesterday though, so I don't know how
Ah,
long it takes.
okay. Yeah, it takes a day. Um,
I
uh,
actually had who asked me about the map. I think it was Suzette, who, by the way, said it has been way too long. I saw a picture of you from like 16 years ago with Suzette just right before I came into here. I told her to send it to you.
Wow, I haven't
It was,
seen it yet.
you haven't
Yeah.
seen it yet, I don't
No, I
think.
haven't seen it
She
yet.
said
No.
it's a
That's
very she has
amazing.
a very silly picture of you sticking your tongue out, and then she's got like a normal picture,
Yeah.
but it's from a while ago. I think it was like
Yeah.
16 years ago.
Yeah, it would definitely be around that long. You
It
know, she.
was
Yeah, I was playing with another chap that she was a, probably is still a fan of. Guy called Nick Hall, brilliant singer songwriter, and she came over, and we were both playing on the same night in London. It was really good fun.
she said, I love the song Real Love, but my heart is still with the song Whispers. How did you come up with how did you come up with the idea of doing the map? Great idea, by the way, very creative.
uh, my daughter, so my daughter Faith, she's 10 years old, and she was talking about um, she gets she thinks about really grown up things every now and again, and she was talking to me about all the people that sleeping rough, don't have a home, and and don't have a network of a community to to lean on at Christmas time. And so she was like, "Can we do these care packages?" So, so you know, Faith came up with the idea, and she wrote a list of what she wanted to put in these bags, and we went and did that um, uh, around about Christmas Eve. Just went round and
That's
found
very
people.
look. Let me tell you, faith gives me hope. All right, because
Yeah,
that's young
yeah.
kids just don't think like that.
She makes me proud, and I, after that conversation, I put her into bed, and I just started thinking about kindness and the effect of kindness, and how actually, just small things, one act of kindness passed around, can add up to a very, can change the world. And I
Yeah,
was like, I wonder if I can do something. And that was the germ of the idea. And then I thought about Christmas cards, and I thought about whether or not I could send the song Real Love as a Christmas card, and then make it so that anybody could then go, I'm going to send this same thing for nothing to someone else and say, hey, thank you for being you. And that was the idea. And I sent it to my manager, and we came up with this idea of, well, wouldn't it be great if we could do it in the way that you get these apps where it tracks Santa like
yeah,
around the
yeah,
world,
yeah.
and that was simply like the idea. I was like, wouldn't it be great if we could just put little stars or hearts or something like that on a map? And yeah, it was, a lot of people went, you can't do that. We can't do that for all of these reasons, but we just figured it out, and I'm so proud of it. It's been, we've had, I think, in the thousands now, all over
That's
the
a
world.
lot of hearts on that map. And you know
Yeah,
what? There's a lot in the UK, but they're also spreading out around the world. I've seen them down,
Lapland,
yeah,
Australia, Brazil,
New Zealand.
Canada, New Zealand.
I saw them all.
Yeah, need to get Asia in the map,
Yeah.
and But one of the things that actually I'm going to do, you were asking really earlier about what I'm going to do this year. One of the things I'm going to do, and I think it's really important, is that I love the idea of people kind of finding stuff and kind of going, oh, this is valuable to me. I'm going to share this with somebody.
Uh
I'm
huh.
going to go, hey, have you heard this? So one of the things we're going to do is we're going to take specific songs this year and not ask Spotify's permission, not release it under a label. We're going to host it, and we're going to do it with the map. So we're going to go, hey, here's a song. it's yours. You can download it. You can do whatever you like. And if you like it enough, send it to somebody. And we're going to see how far we can spread
Yeah, we can see
spread a
where
song.
that song goes. I
Yeah.
like that.
It's it's nice. It's just kind of like a message in a bottle.
Yeah, it's what. Plus, people like to feel involved, and that's a cool way to feel involved. Like, yo, that's my dot on that map right there.
Yeah.
Like, that's
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
I thought it was an awesome idea. It's definitely unique. I haven't seen a lot of people out there. The people
Yeah.
do it for different reasons, but I've never seen somebody do it to see where their song reached and how many
Yeah.
hearts it's touched and how many people have decided to share it. I think that's super useful information.
Yeah. I mean, it's for me. It's really nice because I'm not asking you to buy anything. I'm not. I'm not asking for anything. The only thing,
Yeah, no.
the only thing that I do need is an email address because that gives a ping in terms of location, so I can put it on the map.
Yeah.
But other than that, I'm not asking for you to sign up to this, that, or the other. It's simply, hey, what do you think of my song? Which, that's why I started. I started writing because it made sense of the world to me. And then I could go, I'm terrible at waffling on about stuff, but when I write songs, I feel like I'm much better at getting to the heart of what I'm trying to say, you know.
I
So
definitely see it. I believe it 100%. I think it's gonna be a good future thing to be watching out for. So everybody make sure that you're checking out the maps as they come out.
thank
If
you.
you're not on the heart map already, you should be. Like
Yeah.
that's we'll leave all the links down below so everybody can go and find out where it's at. You can go over to Vince's website, etc. We'll shout all that out at the end. Let's dive into some of these user submitted questions.
Okay. Here we
Let's
go.
see. Andy Mold says, looking back, what are the top 3 decisions that you've ever made?
Wow.
Some of them
Well,
get deep.
yeah. So I met Andy last year. My first ever tour, my first ever kind of full headline UK tour with a band. And Andy came and saw me in Sheffield, and he then invited me. They, the chaps that I met there, they invited me to do a gig for them in Hull, which is a long way away. Lovely, lovely guy. Okay, top 3 decisions. First one, deciding to jump and become a full-time musician. I was a financial consultant, and I was coming to the end of my month, and I was like, okay, so I've got 2 weeks to make a decision. 2 weeks and 500 quid, basically. I had £500, and I either paid my rent or bought a car and got some business cards and then tried to get some gigs. And I decided to get some business cards and bought a really, really old car. But yeah, flying by the seat of my pants. But
Hey, if it gets you from point A to point B, it doesn't matter.
well, it started the trajectory of my life. Moving from that to that. Number two, 3 best decisions of my life. I hope these don't come in rank order, by the way.
Okay, you don't. Well, they're not in any particular order. Got it.
Okay. So the second one is it wasn't really my decision, but well, I asked my wife Jackie to marry me, and she said yes, and we're still together, and she still puts up with me after all these years, and I love her dearly.
That that sounds like a good decision to me.
That was, yeah. I mean, that was the best decision of my life, which is why it's
Way to
not in
cover your
order.
ass there.
She'll be watching this. She'll be watching this and she'll go, yeah,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
Um, and third best decision of my life. Um, do you know what? Weirdly, I in 2012 I did The Voice on the BBC in the UK,
There's some
and
other questions about that later too.
yeah,
So
I didn't want to do it. I really didn't. I was quite happy being a singer songwriter, and I had a phone call from somebody who worked for the Voice and was talent scouting and was like, "Oh, I think you should do this." Really didn't want to do it, and after about 3 or 4 phone conversations, I decided to do it, and I think with the benefit of hindsight, it was, the best decision, to do that.
visibility wise, it had to be.
Yeah, I mean not so much the show, but the opportunities and
Yeah,
that came as
the
a result.
connections.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think I'd be here speaking to you had I not, decided to go on to The Voice, because it just gave me an opportunity you know, to write some songs with some really great songwriters.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
so yeah. Hope that answers that one.
Yeah, that definitely answers that. I think that counts as your 3. I think that also is going to satisfy the wife.
Perfect.
So let's see. Let's see. Who we got next? Phil Moles. My question would be twofold. A, do
Okay.
you still drink tequila? And B, do you still take your boots off to play?
Okay. I'll answer them in reverse order. Okay. So I don't take my boots off to play. So for many, many years, I was. I even had a slogan: "Barefoot's best." I used to play without any shoes or socks, and it wasn't a gimmick. I just felt
More comfortable.
yeah, more comfortable, and it happened because it was the summer one year, and it was really hot, and I had flip flops on, and kicked them off, and I was like, "Oh, this is great." And then maybe about 4 years ago, I was having a conversation with my wife, and she went, "Darling,
Let's
no
talk
one
about the
needs
boots.
no one needs to see those hooves anymore." Yeah, so
Oh God.
so I don't take my shoes and socks off unless I'm at home anymore. Um, the tequila, no, I don't.
No more tequila.
No more tequila. And I don't want to bring the mood down, but I actually got really ill last year. I ended up with pneumonia. I then ended up with a heart condition, which then pushed my heart into heart failure. And
Oh wow.
like, and I mean severe heart failure. I was given 10 years, and
Jesus.
but I mean, subsequently, without going into details, I've had, I guess, what you would call like a miraculous recovery, because it turned out the most part of it was a virus that had attacked my heart, and I don't have that anymore. So I'm all good. And I feel
Good.
very,
We're glad that you're gonna be with us for a while. I don't
but
wanna have a time down counting
yeah,
down now.
but as a result, I stopped drinking. Like, probably for the first time in my adult life, I've kind of stopped drinking altogether for about 3 months. I'll still have a drink, but the hard stuff.
Yeah, but no more rock and roll lifestyle.
No, I mean, I think it's just time to put that one to bed.
Hey, at a certain point in your life, you start looking at the things that are important and valuable to you, and you say, I don't really need that anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Very, very cool. The boots thing. I think somebody else asked something about boots too. Let me search for
Yeah.
boots.
Okay.
Okay. Chris the Veg Man says, I loved going to watch you regularly about 20 years ago when you always wore cowboy boots. I thought you were so cool. I went out and bought some, and everyone said you were my man crush. Anyway, do the cowboy boots ever make appearances these days?
Chris the Veg Man. I think I know who that is.
Yeah,
I
it's your
think.
man crush.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Yeah, I used to wear cowboy boots. Like that. It was like either no shoes or socks or cowboy boots. Do you know what the weirdest thing is? It's kind of quite timely because I mean I don't know. Hold on a minute. Here we go. Let's see how flexible I am.
Hey, you still got the boots.
Yeah, but only recently. Sorry.
Only
Just having
recently you
plugged
put
myself
cowboy
into
boots
town.
back on?
Yeah. So yeah, only recently, uh, like about 6 months ago, I was like, I'm gonna buy some, cowboy boots.
I need some new shit kickers.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I hope that answers that question. So
That
yeah,
also might lead to the why it was more comfortable barefoot, though. Like, I don't know how many people have been stomping around all day in a pair of boots, but nothing feels better than taking them off.
yeah, yeah.
That was my dad thing. Hey boys, come over here and pull my boots off.
That's the first thing that my dad used to do when he used to get home from work.
Yep, the boots
He
got
used
to
to,
come off.
yeah, shoes, boots, shower, change, done.
Let's see who we got. We got. Phil Moles says, no, we got Phil Moles. Pete Mold. That's what it is. Pete
Mm-hmm.
Mold. I don't know if he's related to the Andy Mold, but that's the same last name.
Yes. Yeah.
After your
Yeah,
appearance
brothers.
on The Voice UK, was there ever a time when you thought things wouldn't work out for you in the music business? And what gave you the motivation to continue to strive for success in the industry?
All the time. I think, was there ever a time where I didn't think things would work out? I think that's kind of like related to that whole kind of belief and believing in yourself. Um,
Yeah,
took me a took me a couple of
a
decades,
couple
but
decades. I was about to say the same.
you know,
Hey, it didn't matter
um,
how long it took you. At least you got there.
yeah. What was the second part of the question?
The second part of the question was what gives you the motivation to continue to strive for success?
Okay. I'm a perfectionist. I, you know, I never think anything's good enough. And that kind of, that's that motivation to kind of be better.
Yeah.
Um, what what's given me the motivation to continue? I don't think I can be without music. It's not an obsession. It's just something that I was a sportsman growing up,
Yeah.
and I went to university to do a sports degree. Played every single sport under the sun, and then I was given a guitar when I was 21 at
Hmm.
Christmas by my mum, and it was this broken, beat up guitar that didn't have enough strings on it and wasn't in tune, and I didn't realize how frustrated, angry, and confused I was until I got this guitar and subsequently started writing, a load of really, really terrible songs. you know, I spent like 6 months trying to figure out this guitar, but also at the same time kind of writing all the time. And, it was just a way of me explaining how I felt to whoever wanted to listen.
Yeah.
So,
I'm absolutely.
that's the
I think you
motivation.
answered one of my questions too, because I was going to say, do you ever feel like a song is completely done, or are you always tweaking it? But you said I'm a perfectionist, so I'm assuming there's an ample amount of tweaking that goes in before you're satisfied.
Yeah, I mean, there's a song. The first song on the album is called Powers. There's 47 versions of that.
You could release a whole
So,
album, a couple
oh yeah,
albums, a
yeah,
dual disc album with all of the same song.
yeah. But I mean, if you look at, I'll give you an example. Bruce Springsteen, he always, not only does he do probably more versions than I've done of Powers, but he then records releasable versions in 3 different ways every song. You know,
Wow.
he released an album called 18 Tracks, which is alternate versions of his biggest songs a few years back.
Which is what he considers to be the ultimate version that's out there. Like, this is my favorite version.
I don't know. I mean, like 18 Tracks is, you know, a different version of every single, you
That's
know,
so
big
cool.
song that he's ever released. Like Born in the USA on 18 Tracks is like a down and dirty blues track. It's slow.
What?
Yeah, man.
Oh, I've got to check this out.
Oh, it's like that. You know, it's really
No, you
down
take,
and
but
dirty.
that's like a whole different version.
Yeah.
It's not just like, oh, I changed something up that I didn't like. No, that's like a
No, it's
legit.
like born in the USA. I was born in the USA. Yeah, it's like that.
What?
It's really
And
cool.
anything to not hear the same exact one that they play on the radio every 5 minutes, like that.
Yeah,
That
exactly.
would be cool, just to hear somebody take their song and completely flip it on you. Yeah, I like that. That's a good reason to have multiple versions. Let me get rid of this one that we've
Nothing to do
already
with being
seen.
indecisive.
No, yeah, no, not at all. It's a good cover from your
Yeah,
indecisiveness.
yeah.
I'm not exactly sure how I want to do this one. While we're on the topic of the voice, what was the best part about it, and what was the worst part about it? That came from Suzette.
Oh,
I know it's been a minute. It's been what? How many? 2012, you said, right? It's been a few
yeah, it's like
years.
13 years now. The best part of it was the people that were behind the show. You know, the band, the vocal coaches. You know, the band were essentially George Michael's touring band.
Okay.
My vocal coach was George Michael's musical director. So I got to hang out and, you know, learn off these guys that are, you know, world class and exceptional at what they do.
Yeah.
That was the best thing. Being on the telly was pretty cool as well. You know, you know,
Just being able to see yourself would be kind of cool. Be like,
yeah. I mean, like, you
is
know,
this weird? I think it would be a weird feeling at first, especially if you've
yeah,
never been like. If it's, there's a lot of people that go on there, and you can tell, oh, they don't have many performances under their belt quite yet. But I
yeah.
can't imagine standing on that stage. I would be terrified.
Well, they say the camera adds £10. It's not. It's the pies that you've eaten
Prior to getting on stage.
yeah. Yeah.
All the snacks they have in the back.
I guess the worst part of it is that it's TV, and therefore, for that reason, you have producers and directors that are trying to create a show, and therefore they're looking for narrative and they're looking for stories within, you know, essentially what should simply be
A talent thing.
yeah, who's
I
the most
totally agree
talented,
with that.
this, that, and the other. And I think that was the worst thing, kind of seeing that, you know, being involved in that and actually seeing these narratives kind of appear before your very eyes while you're in the middle of it.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, that was the worst thing, because it's, you know, ultimately TV's you know, it's not
what you
talent show.
see either.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, there's a lot going on behind the scenes that people don't
Yeah.
see, and it's all to
Sure.
get ratings. It makes sense, but from a TV point of view, it makes sense. From a business point of view, it makes sense. But do I think that it should be all about the sad sob stories? Absolutely not. It should be about whether or not you can actually sing.
Yeah. But, you know, it's TV.
Yeah, it's TV. That's one of the drawbacks of TV.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I know plenty of, you know, I'm still in touch with a load of the contestants from the show. and I know a few that went on, and they're this type of artist, and then through the course of the show, they end up being portrayed as this type of artist.
Yeah,
You know,
they're gonna steer you in a direction that's good for them, maybe not necessarily the route that you wanted to take, for sure.
I was lucky. You know, I don't feel like I was steered in any particular direction. You
Yeah,
know,
you get to maintain yourself. But come by
yeah,
the end of it, the very last person that's standing, chances are other people are making some decisions for you now.
yeah. No comment.
We gotta stay safe too. You understand?
Yeah.
Let's see. Emily said, "What came first, the guitar or the voice?"
Uh, the voice, I guess. Um, I didn't. I was kind of known as a kid that would walk to school like singing songs to himself.
Oh, I've seen some of those kids.
Yeah. I was that kid. Um,
See,
but I think we were talking about this before the recording started. I grew up, you know, in a place where boys did sports, you know, and you know, I remember the head of music for my secondary school asked me if I would join the school choir, and I was like, yeah, no, I'll get beaten
yeah,
up,
that wasn't
you
the
know.
popular thing to do for sure.
Yeah. So, yeah, the voice came first, but it was very much kind of something that I largely ignored until I got a guitar, if
Very
that makes
cool.
sense.
Yeah, absolutely makes sense. Tim says, okay, that kind of coincides with one of my questions, so I'll kind of put the two together. Tim says, "Do you have any guilty pleasure songs?"
Oh, guilty pleasure songs. Um,
My question was, do you what are some of your guilty pleasures? But guilty pleasure songs came from Tim. So
I think guilty pleasure songs would be safer. um, mm,
less likely to catch a flying a lamp to the head.
I don't know. Guilty pleasure songs. I'm just trying to think. Yeah, I don't think you would know of this band in America, but there's a band called The Cause.
I do not know of this band.
Okay, so they're like three like Irish girls. One's a
Okay.
drummer, one plays the fiddle, and one sings. And yeah, I think like many years ago when I was at university, that was kind of my guilty pleasure. Um, and they weren't particularly cool, as it were. Um,
At least you didn't tell me like you had like a Backstreet Boys poster up in your bedroom.
no, I mean, I think like I guess I love Neil Diamond. Like,
I did not see that coming.
like I'm a big fan of like Neil Diamond. I got his like greatest hits and stuff. And I guess um, there was nah, this is it. Um, when I was a kid, I used to listen to a band called Wet Wet Wet, and
Wet,
they
wet, wet,
wet wet wet.
triple wet.
So in the UK, they were huge at one point. There was a song called "Love Is All Around," and I think it was on Love Actually.
I
The
think I've heard the song.
Yeah, yeah. So Marty Pellow was the lead singer for that, and yeah, I mean, I was a huge fan of his voice and Wet 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 in like to the point where I used to like literally listen to the songs, write out the lyrics, and try and sound like him in my bedroom. You know?
In my bedroom
Yeah,
by myself.
yeah. Sorry, that was my radiator just falling on the floor.
Oh. Hey, I'm not sure, but this one might be one of your family members. Sharon Freeman.
Oh, yeah.
She's
Hey, Sha.
said, "Will you be doing another tour next year?"
Oh, that's a pretty safe one for my big sis. um,
Good on
yeah, I
keeping
hope
it
so.
safe.
Yeah, I hope so. Um, there's, there's a huge amount of things that I'm kind of trying to kind of put together like right now. Um, just signed with a new agent, and we're looking at tours, support tours, and all that kind of stuff.
Very
Um,
cool.
watch this space, I guess.
Yeah, watch the space to find out.
Yeah.
Rachel Francis says, from all your back
Ah,
catalog over the years, not just the new album, what's your favorite of all of your songs to play live?
I know, Rachel. How we doing? Um, favorite song to play live? Uh, I think it's The Singer.
The Singer
Um,
is your favorite song to play live.
to play live, yeah. Um, close second would be Cherry Lips. Um, but yeah, The Singer was. I came off The Voice and I got invited to do a writing session with a chap called Ian Dench, and he co-wrote "Beautiful Liar" with Beyonce, and
Oh wow.
yeah, he's kind of the real deal. And I remember being absolutely terrified going down to London to kind of go into the studio, and he just went, look, I've been watching you on The Voice, looking at your YouTube stuff, and he goes, I've just come up with this like one line, and I think we should write a song around it. And he's like, I'll sing till the silence comes. And I was like, you bugger. Because the precursor to that was he was like, look, you're a singer, t-shirt and jeans. That's it. That's what you get. And I think, the line I came up with is this. And we wrote the singer, immediately after that. And it just, yeah, it doesn't get old when I play
It's
it.
crazy that it can all just start from a line. And
Yeah.
then everybody's like, yes, that's we need to write something around this.
Do you know what? In that moment, he was like, "Yeah, so I've come up with this line, and sing till the silence comes." And he goes, "So, yeah, so play something." I was like, just like that." And then he just kind of turned and like was like kind of just waiting for me to write something, and I was
That
like,
would be horrifying to be put on the spot like that.
it was one of those like, oh my god, moments. But yeah, the strangest thing was that came instantly. The song was written in like 20 minutes, and I think it was
That's crazy.
just going back to that honesty thing. I think it was like I just wrote it about me,
Yeah.
about about the fact that I am a singer, t-shirt and jeans, and that's the first line of the chorus, by the way. I am a singer. There's a voice in my soul, and that's and I'll sing till the silence comes.
That's crazy that it all just came from this guy and one line, and you being put on the spot. Like something to happen like that. That's insane.
Yeah,
People
yeah,
talk about the creative process. That's a 20-minute creative process. That's the fast track.
yeah.
I know people that can't write a song in 20 years and you did it in 20 minutes.
Oh yeah, but I mean that was I think takes a long time to get good, and I think the other side of art is inspiration, and that moment was just a moment of inspiration, could have very easily been a. It worked out.
At least it worked out. Thank
Yeah,
God it worked out.
yeah, for sure. And
Oh,
that ended
that's
up being my first kind of what you call like bona fide hit. It
yeah.
went out, 18 months later. It was given to a chap called Chris Schumer in Germany who was on The Voice. Actually, there was no connection, but he was a finalist on The Voice in Germany, and he released it as his single. It was just crazy. Went
Everybody pay attention
number
for the
two in
Vince
Germany.
Freeman ebook on how to write a hit in 20 minutes.
Yeah,
Gonna take a little bit of fear on
maybe
your
I should
part.
start something.
Oh, Jesus. Suzette said, how was it to sing at St. Pancras?
St.
What is
Pancras.
St. Pancras International Piano with a full choir?
Yeah, it's not a body part. It's
Yeah,
St.
well, like St. Pancras.
Not St. Pancras, St. Pancras. It's a railway station, right?
Okay.
But it's one of the busiest railway stations in the UK, certainly in London. And a few years ago, they put pianos in there. One of the pianos is Elton John's piano, and they started doing these kind of like pop-up performances.
Oh, really cool. I don't think I think
Yeah,
I'll miss my damn train.
yeah. So so this Christmas, I did Real Love with the London Community Gospel Choir, and that was like a dream come true for me. And then I was like, oh, wouldn't it be great if we could like perform it live? And I just asked my management. I sort of said, could we do like the St. Pancras sessions? And they were like, yeah, maybe not. Jeff Goldblum's just done one. E17 have just done one. Tom Grennan has just done one. And, you know, that's the kind of level. And they said yes. And it was amazing. It was incredible. You know,
I can
what?
see. I can see it in your face that you're just
Yeah.
like beaming about it. It had to be one of those moments.
What I love about it is it kind of like it feeds into what I love doing, which is kind of flying by the seat of your pants. There's no there's no rehearsal. There's no PA. There's no, there's no lights, camera, action. It's just a piano in the middle of a train station, and you just kind of start
That only certain
singing.
people are allowed to touch, apparently.
No, well, that's the point. It's a public piano. So what happens is, like, when we got there, there was this girl on the piano, and we had to wait till this girl had like
Don't be
finished,
the one that
like,
kicks her off.
no, we just waited until this girl, finished, playing with the piano, and went off to catch a train or whatever, and then we kind of jump on and do our thing, and then off we go. And it's
The crowds gather around, I'm assuming.
oh yeah, yeah. I mean, it's kind of quite well known, now.
You really would make me
Certainly in
miss my
London.
damn train. Any kind of pop-up thing like that, and I get lost in it. I
Oh,
don't
they've
care. It
had
could be it's someone's just doing a really good busking session. I'm
yeah.
right
I mean,
there.
they've had some. I mean, when I said Jeff Goldblum, that was, he turned up because he's the Wizard of Oz, in Wicked, and he turned up and did
That's
his
really,
thing on the piano.
really awesome.
Yeah, I loved
You never know who you run into. I would just hang out there all day.
it.
I would go get myself a coffee, even if I ain't got a train to catch. I would just go chill.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know whether people do that, but you could be the first. Just
I
fly
could be
over.
the first. That guy's here all the time. They would get tired of seeing my ass.
With your hat.
Yeah. Oh, what the hell is HxC? Let's see. Sandra said, what would the ultimate cover song be, and who would you love to be covered by?
Oh, What my ultimate cover? Um, oh gosh.
Tiny Dancer.
Oh, what a track. Um, yeah, the thing for me is that there are a few songs that I won't touch because, to me, it's like,
They're already sacred, or
yeah, like, you know, I can't do Jeff Buckley. I can't do David Bowie. Why? I'm never gonna, if I can't put my stamp on it, or I don't feel like I can do, at least as good a job, I'll just leave them where they are and enjoy them. Um, ultimate cover. Ugh, I don't know. I I've probably already done it. Um, I love Ray Lamontagne. He's an incredible singer and artist, and I've already done it. His song "Trouble" um,
okay.
is. I remember hearing that, and I was just like, "Who's this guy that recorded this album like 30 years ago that I haven't heard?" And then I
That happens
found
to
out,
me all the time.
yeah, and then I found out like literally just released, you know, this album, and I was like, it immediately sounded like a classic album, and for me it still is. And Trouble's just it's just a brilliant song, and I feel like I do a nice version of it. I love singing it, so
Well, see,
I
that's
think
all. Look, that's all that matters. I'm
yeah.
sure it's a nice version, but if
And
you just enjoy singing it, I could see you singing Hallelujah, though. I could.
oh, do you know what I mean? I could, but I'd rather leave it to you know.
Leave it the way that it is.
Yeah, man. Who would I have cover? Oh, do
Yeah,
you know
who
what?
would?
If it was my music and someone was covering it, crikey, if Chris Stapleton would get on one of
Oh,
my
that's a
songs,
good choice. Good God.
man, he's like, he, you know, if I could choose a voice, I love the way his voice cuts. It's got all that depth, but it kind of cuts through in a way that, I've got all this gravel and
Yeah,
I've got all this range, but I don't cut quite like Chris Stapleton does. And yeah,
that's
I
an
love his voice.
excellent choice. That would be freaking amazing.
Yeah,
Chris Stapleton, if you're listening, pick up
where
the
are
phone.
you?
Yeah, all right, let's make that happen. Let's see. Suzette has one. Oh, Suzette asked if you could please sing a part of Whispers. Wow, on the spot again.
Shit.
You've been
My
putting
God,
getting put on.
I haven't sung that song like in probably 15, 16 years.
Really?
Yeah. And if you have to leave, take all of you and nothing but me. And if you see, I don't even. I can't even remember the words.
Oh,
Don't take. Yeah, it's. Don't take these whispers. Yeah, yeah. Okay, here we go. Don't take these whispers. They're all I've got. And I can't remember. Suzette, I'm so sorry.
Suzette,
Should have
don't
given me
be
a
too
heads up.
disappointed. She should have gave you a heads up. I agree. She's
Oh
been
man,
speaking to
yeah.
you directly.
But I mean, to be fair, I haven't sung that song for like 15 years.
Does that mean that we're gonna get a new version of it or what?
Maybe.
Oh, let's see. Okay, now we're on to some of my questions.
Okay.
What was the first song you ever wrote, and how does it compare to the songs that you write now?
Oh my! The first song I ever wrote was called "Holding Back the Tide," and my dad loves it, and I hate it. um, how does it compare? Do you know what? I think when I first started writing songs, I was comparatively as honest as I am now.
Uh-huh.
But I've now had like 20 years of
Life experience.
craft, just getting better at the guitar, learning my instruments, learning how what works and what strikes with people. Um, but I think when I was just starting out, every now and again I would write something accidentally brilliant.
Accidentally brilliant.
you know, um, and holding back the tide. Yeah, my dad loves it, and I don't, but I can kind of see where
Why
he's
people
coming from.
do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like in terms of comparing, there are lyrics in there that are just brutally honest, and that's how I try and write these days. So there's a similarity there, but that's kind of where the similarity ends. Don't listen to it
But it's the
ever.
same. It's the same way though. Any artist out there that looks into themselves 20 years ago is gonna go, "What was
Yeah.
I thinking?" Like,
Well, I mean, I was just trying stuff out, and
yeah,
I
you're
think
just starting off. You don't have that knowledge to back everything up.
yeah, I think, you know, I think it's very easy to become jaded as an artist and become kind of like, set in your own lane because you get to a point where you kind of go, oh, I know everything. I know what I'm doing. I know how to write a song. And I think the danger in that is you become kind of just beige, you
Yeah.
know. And I think one of the exciting things about young artists and young musicians is that they don't know what rules they can't break.
Yeah, this is
You
true.
know, so they do stuff, and I've worked with a few artists, and it's not necessarily that they're brilliant. It's the fact that they're like, oh, I've got this idea, I want to do that, and you're like, well, that's never gonna work. But they don't know that, so they just try it anyway. And every now and again, it's like, wow, I don't know how that works or why that works, but you just did it because you didn't know, and that's exciting. When you hear something that sounds like tomorrow,
Yeah,
you know, that's the exciting part.
make you look at things a lot different than I've ever even thought about. Like, I wonder how many accidental, brilliant songs are out there that it was just like,
Well, I mean, to give you an idea, I don't read or write music, so until
you do everything by just by ear.
yeah, and I don't really have a. I mean, I have a basic concept of rhythm and time signatures, but I remember one of the one of the first songs I ever wrote was called "My Sweet Friend," and I had the like privilege of being able to perform that in London with the Ronnie Scott's band. And I
Okay.
remember the guy coming up to me and he's like, so, um, we've worked out your song. And he goes, but I don't understand. He goes, it's amazing. He goes, you got like 3 different time signatures, and they all kind of go in and do this. And I'm like, do they? like, you know, I, I had absolutely just no idea that I was doing that. And he was like, that shouldn't work, but it does. And it's kind of like, I think that, accidental brilliance is great, but
And
for
sometimes
like
you
a,
just got to break the mold.
yeah, well, that's, you know, people, the people that are great, the real, the real groundbreakers in anything, they
Yeah.
don't ask permission, you know, um, And sometimes they do it intentionally, and sometimes they do it unintentionally. But they never ask permission, and I think that's you know a constant.
I live by that philosophy. It's always better to ask forgiveness than permission.
Yes, sir.
I totally agree with that.
Hmm.
Oh, let's see. Let's see. Is there a particular song or lyric you've written that you feel is the most personally vulnerable to you?
Oh, um, yeah. I mean, this. I'm just trying to think. It's a great question. I think probably the best thing to do is to kind of let me mull it over while we go on to another question.
Okay.
Otherwise it's just gonna be like,
Well, I got another question that might kind of jot some things in there. It's what role does emotion itself play in your songwriting process? Do you write when you feel a certain kind of way in order to capture a specific kind of feeling, or is it
that's a
more?
that's a great question. Um, I think yeah, for sure. I think like these days, I'm obsessive about lyrics. You know, I'll wake up at like 3 in the morning because I've, you know, dreamt something and I'll write it down, you know, little lyrics and this, that, and the other. I mean, my iPhone is just like, just, just loads of different, you know, notes about stuff. I mean, I'm writing a, I'm writing a song at the moment, and you know, the key idea is, you hit me harder than a heartbreak song, you know, and
Right.
I just kind of so I come up with these ideas, and but actually ultimately it's all down to the emotion, you know. If you're not feeling, you know, you have to feel that, you know. So the whole idea behind that is this this idea that you can be with someone, and that one person in the whole universe, in the whole world, can, you know, can hold you up, and but at the same time, that one person can just make you so angry, because that one person is the most important person in the whole universe to you. And you know, so I came up with this idea that, you know, it's not all, you know, it's not all love and roses. You know, sometimes it's sometimes realizing that you know, sometimes the realization that this person is the only person that can push your buttons in that way, you know, that makes you realize that that person is the you know, the thing that makes your heart beat, you
Yeah.
know. So yeah, so they do go hand in hand, you know. Sometimes I'll see something again that I'm like, I'm touched by that. So I guess what I try and do is I try and feel that emotion when I then sit down to write the song. So if I see something, I try and write it down in a way that you know, that explains the emotion, and then
Yeah.
when I write it, I try and find that emotion in the music.
Get yourself in that headspace.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. What's the most embarrassing thing you've ever had to do to promote your music?
I thought you were going to say, "What's the most embarrassing thing I've ever done?" um, to promote my music, I've never had to kind of like wear a pink tutu or anything like that.
You've never anything overly embarrassing then.
No, but I can tell you the most embarrassing thing that ever happened to me in recording my album. I had to, I had to commute and stay in London for about 6 months, you know, Monday to Friday, and I was staying in this hotel, and so my bedroom at home, mine and my wife's bedroom at home, uh, there's an ensuite bathroom,
Uh-huh.
you know, to yeah, let's say to this side, right? And I woke up about like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, and I had nothing on, right? And I'm a little bit kind of like delirious, and I thought I was at home. I genuinely thought I was at home, and I got up and went to go to the loo and walked outside of my hotel room. And I was that delirious that when the door shut, I even knocked on my own door, going, babe, can you let me in? And then I kind of came to and then realized I was completely naked in
In
a
the hallway.
in a hotel in London with no way of getting back in.
The key was still inside, wasn't carrying it
Yeah. I
around.
had I had to walk. I had to walk down this kind of massive, great entrance staircase to the lobby, and hide around the corner. And I was like, "Excuse me, can I get another key?"
No, you need to bring it to me. I'm not coming to get it. You bring it over here.
Oh God, yeah,
Oh,
that's
Jesus. I can
genuinely,
honestly say I've never been locked out of a hotel room naked. Thank
you
God.
never want to be, but it happened.
Hey, you can't go back on it now. It's
No,
just something that happens.
here we go. It's on camera now.
They still got the security footage. They're waiting to
Yeah,
upload it to the
probably.
sales videos.
No one needs to see that.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Yes. I thought you were going to answer the other way.
No, coffee.
I'm not a tea person. I can't drink tea.
I ran a coffee business during like all the pandemic.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I couldn't work. Um, so I felt like I was just kind of getting things going, and I'd just been asked to write for. It was actually Alicia Keys' team in London, before the
Oh,
Brits,
wow.
and I was like, yes. And then the pandemic came, and genuinely, I couldn't work. There was nothing that I could do, and so I just came up with this idea. I was like, hey, these little mobile coffee businesses, they haven't been shut down. Like, people would go out for walks and get coffee. And I was like, okay. So I got enough money together to buy an old horse box that like literally transported horses and converted it into a coffee truck. And yeah, so for about 2.5 years, I served coffee
From a
to
truck.
back of a truck. Yeah,
So you still have the truck?
sold it.
Yeah, once I
But
got back into the groove of things, I probably would have sold
well,
it
do you know
too.
what? I passed it on to a girl that helped me run the business for like 2 and a bit years. And weirdly, the whole thing that started this was me serving a coffee to a music lawyer. I didn't know he was a music and entertainment lawyer at the time, and he asked me how good I was, and I said, well, I'm good enough that you don't need to blow smoke up my.
Yeah.
And he went, okay, great answer. And then he came back the next day and said, I've got someone coming to see you. He's a music manager. Will you meet up with him? And that's my manager now.
Things happen in weird ass reasons for
Yeah,
weird ass reasons.
yeah.
You were meant to be serving that coffee.
Well, um, it was it was fun, but it was tough, and it was hard, and you know I don't think I was ever meant to make coffees, but you got to do what you need to do to make a bit of money.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we covered part of this. Is there a particular theme or message that you hope that your music conveys to listeners?
Uh, yeah. I mean, I think that there's a song on the album called Imposter, and I think that kind of there's two songs. There's
Okay.
one there's one that feels like the heart of the album, and that's called "Oh What a Life," and that's my story. That's how I grew up, and you know, ink stained shirts and bloody knees. You know, oh what a life. You know,
Yep.
but Imposter is I feel like is the thread of the whole album. I think that the Imposter's the message. You know, and it's like she says sometimes she don't feel right. You know, the mirror only shows her bones. You know, she's been talking to the ghost of her old life. You know, only shadows ever take her home. Yes, I know her name. You know, and the whole point of that is that I feel the same. You know, I see her or you, and I feel the same. You know, and the chorus is simply this. You know, I've been down, I've been lost. You know, you know, everybody's somebody's daughter, somebody's wife, somebody's shoulder. You know, and these are the things that bind us. These are the things that kind of make us just one glorious club of humanity. And I think that's that's the message. You know, it's you're okay. You know,
Yeah.
yeah,
You're
you
not
know,
by yourself. I like
yeah.
that.
I think I think all too often people kind of go, "Oh, I'm weird because I like, you know, I, I like something that most people don't like." That's all right, you know. I
Yeah.
mean, the world would be a much grayer place if everybody was the same, you know.
Yeah. We're not meant to be cookie cutter images of one another. We're
Exactly.
not meant to have all experienced the same exact things. There are certain things that we should all get to experience,
Yeah.
but we're not all meant to be the same. And it's okay if we're a little bit different. It's about finding that common ground between us that makes us connected.
Yeah.
Like, I can
Uh,
look past all the differences and I can
yeah.
make friends with crazy. I've been to 15, 16 different countries now, and I've made friends in every country that I visited. Like, you're going to find beautiful people everywhere, and they're
Yeah.
all got some kind of a story to tell. Every story is worth listening to.
Yeah. And I think for me that's the beautiful thing about music. I mean, I've played, I've performed in so many countries and I've met so many different people. But you know what? The one thing that is common and is common ground. I remember playing in Bulgaria to a group of people in the closed season of the tourist thing. So like all these people, they were kind of like they just couldn't speak any English, and I just turned up and went guitar. you know? And I just plugged in and started playing, and by the end of the night, we're all drunk as skunks, having a gay old time, and music, you know, has so often been the universal translator.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it definitely has no boundaries. I
yeah,
agree. That's one of the things I was so glad, even as an American, I could tell you I'm very sheltered when it comes to music. I hear what the record labels want us to hear on the
yeah,
radio, and that's it.
yeah,
So be having the channel and being able to dive into different languages and different cultures and different, like, you see the similarities, but at the same time, it's like something that I would have overlooked otherwise.
yeah, 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 for sure. Yeah,
Nobody should just bind themselves to listening to only your home language or only your home kind of music. Turn off the radio. I think it's the best way to go on a musical journey. Turn off the radio and start looking for people yourself.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I think, you know, I mean, good is good, and I think what's interesting these days is that we are surrounded by more opportunities to listen to music and intake information than we've ever been, and yet we are kind of driven down this kind of like tiny little lane.
Yeah.
If you like this, then maybe you'll like this. I'm like, well, yeah, but that's not my whole existence.
Yeah,
Thank you
no,
very
I
much.
can
I'd
love
like to.
opera or I can love hardcore rap. Like, there's
Yeah.
no genre out there. I take that back. Polka. I'm not a big polka fan, but I'm not a big polka fan at all.
Fair enough.
Other than that, like, there's pretty much I can listen to anything, and we've even listened to some polka, but it's not my favorite kind of music.
Fair enough.
I don't know. I think that I prefer my music with sustenance, with some kind of a real legitimate message, some kind of real feeling. I don't want to just listen to songs about girls and drugs and guns and like the kind of mainstream thing that gets put out there nowadays. I'm just like, what the hell are people? How did WAP make it to number one? Like, how in the hell do these songs do so well? And people never even find some of these other artists.
Yeah.
It's a big gaggle fuck. That's what it is. It's just like,
I'll take that. I'll take that home with me. What was that? Gaggle fuck.
yeah. I don't know.
I just look for stuff that affects me.
Yeah,
And
I want something that's gonna touch my heart. I want something that I'm gonna feel or that I'm gonna be able to relate to in some kind of way.
yeah,
Even if it's
yeah,
just a party song about going out and getting drunk, I can relate to that. Like, I've been there. Those were the nights.
yeah.
I'm too old for that shit now.
I think I think ultimately, really, you know, really great songs still do come through.
Yeah.
You know,
There's a song that hits, and I'm just like, whoa. But this way, like, I've found all kinds of great bands like Citizen Soldier. Their music is ridiculous. If you haven't heard any of their songs, like, that's just like next level in your feelings kind of songs.
Citizen Soldier. I'm writing it down.
Yeah, that's definitely a group to check out. We just found so many people that I think, God, this should be on the radio. Why isn't
Yeah,
this on the radio?
yeah,
And I don't know, there's too much of a toehold over what we get to hear. I just wish more people would have the opportunity to be introduced to new music and open up their minds a little bit. You never know what you're gonna find out there.
you don't. That's but also, I think that just playing devil's advocate, I think if you write a song that is universally great, I think that if that song gets released, it doesn't matter whether it's released by an independent artist or a major
Oh
label.
no, no, no.
It would still find its feet eventually. Well,
Oh yeah.
I tend to believe that. I feel like Noah Khan is quite a good example of that. Stick Season, just a brilliant song. And it took a while to kind of get there. But it was always going to get there.
Yeah. There's some songs that you hear and you're like, that's a hit. That's gonna
Yeah.
be big one day. And then
Yeah.
you could be years later and holy shit, I remember that song. I told you it was gonna be a hit. Now it's everywhere.
Yeah.
If Shabuzi can go all the way around the world, then so can anybody else.
I was
Like,
just thinking about that guy. Another song that I don't think it matters who or where or what. That song is just instantly a monster.
yeah, it's catchy, it's upbeat, it's
Yeah.
everything that people kind of want to feel. It gives you like moving around in your chair.
Yeah. Exactly.
There's not all songs I don't think have to be universal for the lyrics. Just the music alone can be something that
Yeah.
takes you somewhere else. I've learned to appreciate a lot of songs that have zero lyrics at all. And it's just like, wow, this song makes you feel some kind of way.
Yeah. Sure.
Let's see. What's the most unusual source of inspiration you've ever had for a song?
uh, do you know what? Anything and everything, you know. Um, I don't know if it's particularly unusual, but I mean, like one of the tracks on the album is called "Passing By," and I mentioned earlier about the coffee truck.
Uh-huh.
Um, you know, it wasn't all. I didn't open the business and kind of go, "Oh yeah, great, I'm really busy." Most of the time, I'd stand in my coffee truck, freezing my nuts off, watching people walk past my coffee truck with coffee cups from other people's business, you know. Um, but that was a huge, it inspired that whole song, passing by, because my coffee truck opened up like this.
Uh-huh.
So I would have this like 130-degree view of the world.
You really
Like,
were freezing your nuts off. It was
yeah.
open.
Yeah. So I'd stand there, but I'd see different people all day long, and I love watching people anyway, but like you'd kind of
I'm a
see
people watcher myself as well.
you'd see tiny little 20-second stories happen before your eyes. And so I don't know that that's unusual, but that was the inspiration for that song. I see strangers, I see footsteps all the time. And I remember one day I saw this runner like running past, like and all you heard was this dunk, 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 like this, and obviously really into this music. And I see runners, I see them chasing time, pounding the pavements, tuned into a soundtrack that could never be mine, you know. And and that was just all based on the idea that I was like, I have no idea what this guy's listening to.
Whatever it is good though.
Whatever it is, he's into that, but I'm not.
Yeah.
It's never going to be mine because I can't share that. And so that was, I don't know that that's particularly unusual, but
No, but it's
that's
intriguing.
yeah, that's the inspiration for that. You know,
I think that's one of those inspiration can come from the most unlikely of places. It's
yeah.
just people get inspired by all kinds of random things. That's a whole different way of looking at it. A lot of people would be standing there bored. You're actually capturing these little memories as
Oh, I
people
was
walk by.
bored a lot.
Yeah, but you turned it into something beautiful. The boredom
Oh,
into something beautiful.
in boredom comes inspiration sometimes.
So, all right. So, if you want to be inspired, just go sit in the middle of nowhere and do absolutely nothing. I actually had one of the other artists when I asked him how does he get his inspiration, he said he'd like to do that. Go out into nature where there's nowhere else around and think about absolutely nothing, and eventually something will pop up in his brain. And it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah. I mean, I, I tend to, I tend to get inspiration and write lyrics. I can write in the moment, so I can walk into a studio and go, okay, let's write a song today.
yeah,
But most of the time, if I was to show you my phone, I think Billy Joel called it the spare parts bucket. You know, um, I just put loads of stuff into the spare parts bucket. You know, I'll hear something or watch something or see something or be touched by a moment in a shopping center where you know I'll see a kid and their mother or whatever, and it's just kind of loads of things like that. And every now and again, you just see something that's really special and really unusual, and those are the things that I like to write about.
I think that would be really cool for anybody to do, even if you're not writing a song. Write down the moments that are special to you. You never know. You want to read that back later on in your life, and you're going to remember a whole bunch of things.
That's a great idea.
That's a damn good idea.
Yeah.
Let's see. What's the most rewarding part of performing live for you, and how does it compare to creating in the studio?
This I often say there's three things that I make me feel like I'm home. Being at home, being in the studio, and performing. Um, the the strange thing is for me, like performing is like breathing, you know. I think the most rewarding part about performing these days is that I get to have a conversation with more people than you know you would usually get to have, you know.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
I mean, I just finished this. Before Christmas, I did a tour with Scouting for Girls, who I don't necessarily think that they're particularly, well known in the US, but they're massively well known in the UK.
Okay.
Did 33 dates in front of maybe 45,000 people, and so every night over 1,000 people in front of me, and I get to have a conversation, and it it's odd. And I think the most rewarding thing is when you know that you have you've captured the attention of the people that are there, and it's not an ego thing. It's kind of like, oh, you get it. All right, we're all in the same boat now.
Yeah,
Great,
absolutely.
you know.
But it's nice. It's good for you to be able to see that side of it.
Yeah,
Because if you were just an artist that sat in the studio and made albums, you're never getting to hear that feedback. Like, yo, man,
no,
this song changed my life. Like,
yeah.
I don't think that's ego at all. I think that's just rewards. You know what I'm saying? Like this, finally, you get to see that it's making a change.
I didn't realize, and this is very new for me, right? So there was a song in particular when I was at university, which was kind of a moment for me where it was Goo Goo Dolls' Iris. And I remember um, uh, being in my student house, in my room, playing that as loud as it would go and dancing like no one, you like no one was there because no one was there. Um, but it affected me. It like it allowed me to let go. It did something to me. It created a memory. It left a mark, and I don't know. I didn't realize until I did this tour uh, that my songs were capable of that, and that's what excites me about the future because I've and like you say, I wouldn't have got to experience that if I hadn't have been able to be out live performing.
Yeah,
Like I got to see how my songs have affected, people. Not everyone's going to love my music, but for some people, it was a moment for them, and for some people, it meant something to them. And yeah, I didn't realize. I don't know why, but I didn't realize that my songs were capable of that, and you know, creating a indelible moment in someone's lives.
yeah.
So yeah,
That's a very
loved every minute.
yeah. That's and there's I don't see ego in that at all. I think it's great that you want your music to be able to do that, and you get to see that that your music is being able to do that. Like
Yeah,
that's just a whole part of the equation. Like people are, I get people all the time in the comment section talking about how a certain song that we introduced them to, man, this song saved my life, or they'll come out and it's like that's a powerful statement
yeah,
for music to be able to do something that, and it's like you say what it does to you when you listen to that song. A lot of times that's why we don't do any negative reactions, because for somebody out there that is their favorite song. That is a song that
yeah,
may have done something for them. The artist put a lot of work into it. That's why if I come across a song I don't particularly like, I'll just message the person that requested it and say, hey, you know what, let's try a different one from the same band. This one wasn't really my thing.
yeah,
I'm not going to go out there and blast it for it being a bad song,
mm,
because I see how important songs are to people now, and I don't want to ruin that for somebody by telling them Oh man, this song was terrible. Who the hell am I to talk? It's my personal opinion versus your personal opinion.
Yeah,
I prefer to stick to the positive and say, you know what, I can see how this song. There's just certain ones that pop up, and I'm like, man, I know that that song has saved somebody's life
yeah,
because I've been in those dark spaces myself where I didn't know. I thought I would be in the ground in the next 5 years, like
yeah.
so. But
But you know,
music has done a lot of chipping away at my hateful, spiteful self that I used to be as well. Just I don't know. Music is a damn powerful beast
definitely
when
is.
it's handled the right way, and that's why I think with talent comes responsibility. You're now responsible for those feelings of those people. You could lead them down some dark ass paths with your music,
Yeah,
and you can
yeah,
keep people in the dark, and you can keep people feeling a certain way. But why wouldn't you want to inspire and give hope and have people come up to you for the right reasons? You know what I mean?
yeah. I mean, look, don't get me wrong. I mean, you know, I'm a full time musician. I want. I'd like to have nice things. I'd like to
Yeah,
make. I'd like to make a good deal of money off off my hard work. But
yeah,
I think the thing that has really struck me recently is that I've realised that I have a purpose, and it's singular, and I feel like that it's all very well and good to kind of go, oh yeah, I feel like I was made for this. You know, it does feel like I'm breathing. When I'm on stage, I don't feel uncomfortable.
yeah.
But I don't think until recently I realised that I do. I have a purpose, and I feel like I can help. I feel like my songs need to be heard. You know,
I agree with you
so
wholeheartedly.
I'm going to do my best with that this year.
Very, very good. Well, we're looking forward to some more for sure. Let me see. What song or album influenced you the most when you started making music?
uh, so Ryan Adams was the guy who made me realize I wanted to be a singer songwriter. Um, he's an interesting chap, um, to say the least. But I mean, there's one song in particular. It's called Shadowlands, and it's off the Love Is Hell album. Can't remember whether it was part one or part two, but it's this one song. It's quite bleak, um, and it's quite long, but it just hit me hit me like a 10-ton truck when I heard it, and I was very young and kind of just figuring out how to play the guitar, and I just heard it and I was like, I want to write like that. I want to, you know, I want to aspire to write in a way where, you know, I love it when Billie Eilish was the last artist that did this to me, where you're listening to a song and before you know it, you're watching a movie in your head as you're listening to the song. That's what Shadowlands did, and it's happened, various different times. But I remember it's a song called "The 30th," which Billie
Uh huh.
Eilish released, and I just sat. I was just on. I didn't get her until that song. I was like, oh, I don't know what all the fuss is about. You know,
I've run
it's
into
all
my
right.
fair share of those kind of situations too, where I'm
Yeah,
just like,
and
sometimes it just takes that one song that,
yeah, and I was just like, Jesus, you're a talent, because she just managed to write a song that just I I wasn't listening to a song anymore. I was just watching a movie, and then it finished. I was like, what just happened? you know,
we
um,
we we come up to some of them, and it's like somebody will request something where there's not really a music video with it, or it's just, oh, it's a frozen screen and I'm listening to the song. But then, even then, some of the songs, I get done, I'm like, I didn't even need a music video.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
you just That's all I need is the song right here. That's it.
Yeah. So that
If it,
that for me, that was that was the Shadowlands was the song that made me go, I want to I want to write in a way where, and I don't always get that right, but I do try to aspire to write in a way where, people can create their own movie in their head when they're listening to the song, you know.
yeah,
So
absolutely. Well, that brought us to the end of our questions. Let's see. That's the whole question list. Not bad. Not bad. There were some good ones. So we're not sure about we're working on the upcoming year tour.
yeah, yeah.
Very good.
There
And
is
then
a
we
there's a lot of things happening this year, but I just I don't like to kind of go, oh yeah, I'm going to do this, and then it doesn't happen.
yeah, no,
So
no,
like,
no, no.
there's some really exciting things happening, and I'd love to be able to kind of go, but I'm about 2 or 3 weeks away from being able to kind of go this, 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 and this.
All right. So just follow the space, everybody.
Yeah,
Follow the
yeah,
space and make sure that you get on the heart map.
yeah.
Like we need more worldly heart maps. The UK is kicking everyone's ass right now on the heart map. I look, it's just like a whole red dot on the map, and
Let's get
what
some
the
more.
heck? Yeah, we need some more. We need you to break out everywhere. I'm looking forward to it. I
Good stuff.
appreciate you joining us. Definitely give you a moment to shout out all the socials and websites and everything. They'll also be in the description
Yeah.
of the interview. But where can
Well,
people go to follow Vince Freeman?
for the benefit of brevity and for the benefit of people that, don't necessarily do TikTok and this, that, and the other, just go to vincefreeman.com. And from there, you can go anywhere you want in the world.
Hey, that
With
keeps it
regards to me.
easy.
Yeah.
Just vincefreeman.com.
Yeah. And you'll find my socials, you'll find my YouTubes, you'll find everything else there. And you can just click on a button and take you wherever you prefer to, you know, figure out stuff about me.
They can also get the album there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Scars, Ghosts, and Glory, the new album.
Yes, man. Yeah. So
Everybody
you can
check
buy
that
it
out.
there, or you can, it's on all the streaming platforms.
Do we have it on vinyl too?
Yes, we do. Gold or white, limited edition, and signed.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about. I would get one to hang up on my wall. I got a record player, but most of the time I just like looking at vinyls because they're gorgeous.
Oh, well, message me. I'll get you one out to you.
Hey, I appreciate it. I'm gonna send you over a hat too. We should hook up again in the near future. Let's do something. Let's
Great.
get back together. We'll have another hangout session or whatever. We'll just kind of wing it. Maybe I'll get your ass in a reaction with me to another song.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
Very, very cool. I appreciate you coming on. I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna upload it right now, and then we'll run it as a live show, and then everybody will be inside of the chat. Anybody that's watching, so you can jump into that if you like as well.
Great.
VinceFreeman.com. Everybody definitely go check out the music. You won't regret it, sir. I appreciate you.
Thank you, man. Thanks for inviting me.
Absolutely. It was a blast. I will see you on the next one. Hit the like button if you liked it. The dislike button, but I won't believe you. Tell the next one, Mildly Combustible. You guys be happy, healthy, safe. I love you to the moon and back. Peace.